I often think that if we could see more miracles today, it would prove that Jesus is alive. It would draw more people's attention to the fact that Jesus is living and active and doing things, and it would draw more people to him. However, perhaps this might not necessarily be the case. Jesus' criticism of the people of Chorazin is a case in point. They witnessed Jesus firsthand performing miracles, and yet somehow, for some reason, they just had this hardness of heart which prevented them from accepting him into their lives, from believing in him as Messiah. In Jesus' original hometown, Nazareth, he was unable to perform miracles, and then the populace took exception to him after he'd said something they didn't like, and they tried to kill him. They tried to throw him off a cliff, as we saw in that clip with Andrew Ollerton. But Jesus still had much more work to do. And that wasn't the time for him to be killed. It wasn't the means by which he would be killed, as we know. He was killed later on in Jerusalem and on a cross. When Jesus went up the Mount of Transfiguration, he took 3 of his most trusted disciples with him, Peter, James and John. He took them up the mountain to witness what was going to happen. Until that day, Jesus had been amongst them as a man. But on the Mount of Transfiguration, Jesus becomes dazzling white. He was radiant light, a picture of his glory. A cloud descended, again, an indication of God's presence, an indication of God's glory. Moses, the lawgiver, Elijah, the prophet, were there. And then God spoke, "This is my son, listen to him." After this event, these disciples could be in no doubt as to who Jesus was, but then he told them not to tell anyone about what they'd seen. We've called this week's talk Responding to Jesus. Some people say they need more evidence to be able to believe in Jesus. The people in Chorazin and Nazareth had evidence, but still didn't believe. The evidence we have is Jesus' life, death and resurrection as revealed in the Gospels. We have Jesus' teaching, so God might well say to us, "This is my son, listen to him. This is my son, believe in him."